Now this is a two-stroke tuners scooter tuning and go-karts. I don't know that much about go-karts. I think they're cool, but they don't. I've never ridden in one. They're neat though. This was made by A. Graham Bell, 2nd edition. This guy is a genius at carburation. Also, he talks about how to build pipes, and don't ever try to build a pipe, okay? Because you got to be a rocket scientist to do this. To understand the physics behind it, you need to be a Japanese expert. Here's your reed valve as the fuel comes in. Now you can have a leak here or a leak here. You can also have a leak on your head gasket. You can have no leaks on the bike. So what we do when we adjust, you can see this is the expensive Mikuni right here. That is the slow jet adjustment. Here is the Oko. There is a slow jet. Here is the 28 millimeter. Now I want you to look very closely. You look down this bottom hole right here. I don't know if I can get it right, but there's a very tiny jet in the very back. Not a jet. It's a very hole. It's a tiny hole. All right. This is your adjustment. All of these carburetors have the same type of adjustment. It is a brass pin with a pointed end. It has a spring. The only reason that spring is there is to keep this pin from vibrating loose, or the adjustment to vibrate loose when your carburetor is going balls out. So that's the same reason that this is here, to keep it from vibrating out. It also has a rubber O-ring so that no air will leak in from this side. Your air comes in from, see if I can get my little laser thing deal over here. I should have had this out, sorry. Your air comes in right through here. Maybe you can see that hole in the, better in there. Okay. Now this is the way you adjust it. Now listen very carefully. It works. I've done it a million times. First, what we do is this adjustment here should never be turned out more than 3 turns from fully seated. This will tell you how many turns. What we do is, if you want to adjust this and figure out if you need a bigger or smaller idle jet, we screw this all the way in until it seats. Not to where it's tighter than hell. You don't need to do that. It's brass. Alright? You turn it in all the way till it seats, and then you back it out maybe 1.5 turns. From, you can tell from the marks of the, okay, you want to go 1.5 turns. Then what you want to do is start your engine. Now your engine should idle. Now slow jets take a while to react. They may take 60 seconds to 1.5 minutes to react to your adjustments. Alright, as the bike is idling, let's say your idle is okay, you have no leaks. What you want to do is slowly turn the jet out. Not in, you want to turn it out 1/4 of a turn or 1/2 a turn at a time, and see if the idle increases. Now you're going to get to a point in about 2.5 to 3 turns, no more than that, 2.5 to 3 turns out, where the idle will reach its highest point and then it won't do anymore. You could turn this all the way out and it won't do anymore. If you have to turn this idle out more than 3 turns, this slow jet adjustment, then you'll need a bigger jet. Okay? Now in these type of carburetors, the slow jet and the main jet are different sizes, and they need to be adjusted. It depends on where you're riding, what type of fuel you're using, if you're using winter fuel, if you're using summer fuel, if you're using California fuel, if you're on top of a Colorado mountain, or if you're at the bottom of the Gobi Desert. Okay, the fuel is and the air is going to be affected. What you need to do is temper that to your riding. That's what we're doing. We're adjusting the fuel air mixture. And I'm showing you how to do it by hand. A better way to do it is to use the K&N exhaust analyzer, which is a real good way to check. But that's a whole different deal, and I haven't got one of those yet. You have to put a thing on the exhaust pipe and everything. So what this does is we have a certain amount of fuel that goes through the slow jet right here. Okay, you can't change that. What you can change is the amount of air that goes down that little tiny pin in here. And adjust your slow jet. Now on the other side, remember you need air and fuel to make this idle. So suppose you have your carburetor and it's turned on and you have 1.5 turns out and you're going to do your adjustments. If you turn this pin in all the way, you're within 60 seconds and it will take it, your motor should slow down and stop because your idle is not getting any air. Now this is getting interesting, but I know I'm slow, but we'll go on to the next video. Next part. It's really great explaining it though. A gentleman on YouTube asked me to explain it, and that's why I'm doing it.